Hi, it's me again. I'm going to talk about cats today. This is Sawyer. Sawyer. One second. Sawyer, say hi. Look, say hi. Are you a little weird cat? You're a slightly strange man. Okay. So after I finished the good old treatment cycle I had to go through to be on this plane of earth with everyone, I wanted a dog. And I was looking at all the dogs. I was really thinking back on my time in kindergarten where I had like 17 dog books. And I knew I wanted a Pomeranian when I was a little kid. So I was like, maybe, nah, not gonna happen. And then I was like, maybe I want an Aussie because they're so cute when they're babies. And I was like, but they require like 3 miles of walking and I'm kind of lazy. So like, I don't think I can do that every day. And then I like was thinking about the fact that I grew up with a bunch of animals. So for context, my parents currently have 6 pets, and they're empty nesters, which I'm sure if they heard me say that, they would probably be quaking and scream at me in a nice way. But they have 3 corgis and 3 cats, 2 of which are like outdoor cats, and 1 is a Scottish fold named Jasper that lived with me during COVID. Sorry, let me rephrase. I went and bought a cat without telling my parents when I was a sophomore in college, and then COVID hit, and then I had to move in with Jasper into the house when I had to move back home for COVID. And then my mom fell in love with him and was like, "Oh, this cat means so much to me." And then I went back to school and I was like, "I don't want to take a cat with me, but this cat is now my responsibility." And so we kind of came to a conclusion that now Jasper is my mom's. Anyways, point blank, I have 6 pets that live with my parents, and I grew up with a lot of animals. And I grew up with corgis, and I don't think I ever cleaned up dog shit one day in my life. I asked for pets, and then I wasn't responsible enough to take care of them. Guilty as charged. And now I'm in a position where I'm like, I went through this crazy thing, and I think an animal would be really beneficial, which I think I've said many times in my life. So I'm looking for dogs. I'm like debating a French bulldog, but then they require too much energy. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, maybe a border collie because I had a weird obsession with them when I was little. And that was the book that I bookmarked that dog in my little kid book. And long story short, I realized a dog was too much responsibility, but I wanted an animal. I'm looking for a cat for my mom. My mom wants a friend for Jasper because Jasper's a little bit weird. I don't know if you know anything about a Scottish fold cat. They're Taylor Swift cat, little tiny ears. They like to flop over onto their backs and they like look longingly at the ceiling and there's not much happening in their brains. They're really cute. Jasper's weird and he needs a friend. So I'm looking for a friend for Jasper on Craigslist and they see a cute little cat that looks like him. I connect with this woman. She then sends me these really freakishly cute cats that are called British Shorthairs. And I was like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with these cats. But I'm like a dog person. So can I do this round 2, like get a cat and then like maybe just kind of like it ends up at my parents' house? This doesn't feel right, but like I'm still going to do it. And my parents were encouraging it. My friends were encouraging it. It felt right. So this woman comes over with these 2 little kittens that I picked out. I hand selected them. Finn and Sawyer, who were not named Finn and Sawyer at the time. They were named Butter and No Name Cat. And they came over and they were really tiny. And I was like, oh my God, I'm kind of in love with these cats. I kind of like need them. So I go out of town. She holds on to them. Merry Christmas. Congratulations for beating cancer. You're a rock star. Happy birthday. Whatever. Happy Hanukkah. Like happy all of it. Here's your gift. Thank you, mom and dad. I get back. This woman drops these cats off and Sawyer shows up and he has like poo on his butt and Finn is like weird and like scratching stuff. And I feel like I'm going to throw up because these are my animals and I have to take care of them. It was terrifying. And then I like warmed up to them within an hour. Now we're good. We live together. They sleep in my room sometimes. They're like my best friends. Totally in good hands. And all my friends are obsessed with them. But Cats are introverts. Introverts like cats. I'm an extrovert slash introvert who likes cats. Um, and, you know, of course, most of the story is kind of like, heard that, heard that. This is pretty. Where is this fucking going? This chick's wearing cats on her shirt. Where's this story going? There's an unrelatable side to it. The unrelatable side to it is I'm going to tell you the story of how my cat, Sawyer, went viral. The one that showed up at my house with crap all over his ass the first day I met him. I'm still kind of recovering. It's been maybe a month since I finished my treatments. I'm still pretty like getting my energy back. I have a lot of time to sit in a room alone with these animals, and there's a lot of awkward eye contact and a lot of like, okay, maybe I don't exactly know how to use the litter box, so I'm just gonna go to the bathroom next to it and then look at you because you have to clean it up. There was a lot of me who like can't really control the smell of that, being disgusted, but like it's a love-hate relationship in the beginning, and now I'm like, I'll clean it up whenever you want me to, little man, but you better go in the litter box. We're tight now. But basically, I started noticing these weird mannerisms. These cats are very interesting. They're British Shorthairs. They're not like necessarily outdoor cats. They're not outdoor cats for that matter. They've never seen the outside. They have seen the outside, but they have not like explored up a tree or like seen an ant and like played with it unless it's like come into the house. Like they just like, they don't really know what they're doing out there, nor are they allowed to be outside. So anyways, these cats like will hear a noise and they'll like react a certain way. And I'm very busy. I've spent the last 5 months doing nothing except for sitting in a chair getting pumped with these medications. I'm trying to figure out things, I've watched a lot of TV. I've finally watched Gilmore Girls, which by the way is my freaking comfort show now and I love it. And I watched Handmaid's Tale, and I'm just like in that area in my life where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna have my like go for my walk, I'm gonna try to do a little exercising, and then I'm gonna watch some Netflix. Long story short, these cats are just kind of like becoming my little furry companions. Like when I go into the kitchen, they follow me. When I take a shower, they sit outside and watch me, which is really uncomfortable, but like I've gotten used to it. When I sleep, I feel them just kind of like wandering around my feet. And when I watch TV, they're sitting there watching with me, which is very strange because I grew up with pets and I've never had an animal like actually watch the TV with me. And I just started noticing these weird things that like my cats never did. And my Scottish Fold was a little bit just too isolated as a baby, I think, to know how to communicate with other animals or like humans. He's just a strange one. I can't describe Jasper. Love him, can't describe him. But Finn and Sawyer are very interesting because they're very different. And I started noticing that every time I'd go and watch a Netflix show, the intro would hit. And no matter where he was in the room, even if he wasn't in the room, Sawyer would hear it and he would react to it. So I started having friends come over. I had these cats. I was kind of, going back into my life. And I had a friend come over and she was like, interesting. I'd have friends come over, we'd watch TV or we'd talk, something very like calm. And Sawyer would start meowing every time he saw the intro, and friends started noticing. And one day, I had my roommate finally move in, as I was just kind of getting back to work. And I'd had the cats for about 2.5 months, and we decided to post it. That was an interesting decision because, yeah, it was funny, but there have been so many funny things that happen, and you're like, I have a video of this, whatever. Like, people will think it's funny, but this was one of those things where we put it online, and then within a day, this awkward cat of mine becomes an internet sensation, and there is a literal interview happening in France about my cats meowing at the TV. It was shocking. And, obviously, like I said, introverts like cats. And my cats walk the red carpet. My cat, Sawyer, was asked and requested by Netflix to come to the Beef premiere, which is now an Emmy Award-winning series. And he was on a call sheet along with a bunch of other influencers. And this little cat within a week went from being a nobody that lives in my house that, sometimes uses the litter box, sometimes doesn't, likes to sleep and has a weird fascination for feet, which I will never understand. God love him. And is now known by millions of people. This little cat. And he's the strange one, okay? I have two, Finn and Sawyer. Finn is objectively looks like a little fluffy teddy bear. He's bright blue eyes. He likes to be pet on his stomach. He's like a little dog. He comes when you call his name. Goes in the litter box every time. I don't think, he's well behaved. And then Sawyer's the awkward one that likes to get close but doesn't like to get too close. He doesn't really like being touched very much. He has the weird feet thing, and now he's meowing at the Netflix intro. He's interesting. You sneeze and he meows. He's very sensitive to sound. It's very interesting, the whole thing. So of all, of the two, I would have anticipated Finn to have the 5 minutes of fame, not Sawyer. But here we are. And, I feel like looking back on the whole thing, I mean, obviously he's still very much a little TikTok cat. And Finn needs to have his moment of being recognized because he's so cute too. And I mean, what's not to love about a really cute little fluffy, harmless piece of baby, basically. But it just reminds me of the fact that I'm as much as I thought I was a dog person, and I am a dog person, I will still stand by that. I'm definitely a cat. I am a cat. I like to take naps. I like to kind of lay around. I'm not very much, I kind of just eat, walk around, take naps, very kind of mellow. But I'm like a cat that's gone viral. I'm like the cat that is told to walk on the red carpet and meow. And it reminds me of the fact that I'm pretty sure, the expression you are who you hang out with. I think you are your pet. You really are. And I think I've really turned into either I've turned into my cats or my cats have just adapted to who I am, because I don't understand how this animal has this Pavlov effect. Or is it Pavlovian? One of the two. I don't know shit. Anyways, he has this weird reaction to the Netflix intro that I did not teach him. And he definitely didn't learn it in the Ukraine where he came from, or on the plane that he flew from the Ukraine, or the breeder or the person I got him from here. It was this learned thing that he has now adapted to. But part of me thinks that it was maybe a universal thing for me to have this moment right now in front of this camera, recognizing that I am like my cats and my cats are like me, except I'm a viral cat named Caroline. I will say it was not my idea to post the video. And now I'm first of all, I don't want to be the cat lady. I don't want to be the cat lady. I wanted a puppy. And here I am with my two cats, which, by the way, I don't want it to be any different. They're perfect. They're the perfect amount of lap cat, and they give me the right attention that I want. And I love them, and they're amazing. I don't even really want a dog. Maybe one day. But I don't know how I got to the point of being the viral cat mom. So I really never thought I would say this, but I think cleaning up after my cats, whether that's feeding them every morning or just sitting with them and watching TV, or Sawyer making an accident on purpose, I really think at this point it's on purpose. I definitely feel connected to them. And I think that you feel this sense of yeah, of course you're their parent and you're their caregiver, but it's this sense of connection that you can't really describe unless you have an animal. And it definitely is kind of an amazing, positive, life-changing thing. The intention behind, for me, getting a pet was to kind of really get back into the groove of things and get back to being responsible and not kind of just feeling kind of want to lay around and do nothing, because that's kind of where I was for a little bit. But it really kind of gave me this sense of urgency to okay, I have to get up. I have to feed my pets. I have to do these things. And it kind of helps me get back into a routine. but it also kind of emotionally, I feel super like, I felt really connected to these little furry pets. I think anyone in a low state could use an animal. And that sounds pretty generic, but I was in this really low place in my life and I got, gifted with these 2 kittens that completely changed my life. And it's kind of funny to think about because they're just so objectively cute and funny in their own little ways, but they totally changed my life. I'm curious, have you had your pet walk the red carpet or has it just gotten into some crazy shit? I mean, I know when I grew up, I had like my outdoor cats bring in like birds sometimes, live, dead. One time I like woke up in high school with a literal bird flying around my room. I know it was out of love, but it was horrifying. So many lizards and rats and mice. But have you had any crazy pet stories or unrelatable pet stories? I would love to hear them. I've met a few people and told them that my cat is the Netflix cat, and they knew what I was talking about, which is weird because from my perspective, it's just these 2 little fluffy things in me, and it's like us against the world. I would like to say I think I'm a reformed dog person and I might be a cat person now, but I'm not a crazy cat lady. I am a crazy lady that has 2 cats, but I don't think I'm a crazy cat lady, if that makes any sense. I'm not going to be an old crazy cat lady. I'm going to be an old lady maybe with cats. Maybe still crazy, but crazy can be good. Oh my God, he's resting now. Finn, come here. Hi. Look at the camera.
Bad date, can't relate, everything is going great. Makeup on my mirror. Life sucks, all shucks, I feel like $1,000,000. Plug my ears to hear ya.